Unseen is een fotofestival, een fotobeurs eigenlijk in één. Op een vrij unieke locatie, Westergasfabriek in Amsterdam. Met allemaal verschillende plekjes en hoekjes. En dan zie je en avant-gardistische fotografie, hele jonge fotografie, experimentele fotografie. Eigenlijk de toekomst van de fotografie zie je in een heel compact geheel. Ieder jaar selecteert Unseen een fotograaf of een fotografenduo, zoals dit jaar het geval is, om een beeld te maken, een campagnebeeld. De belangrijkste functie van Unseen is dat je, laat maar zeggen, de gerenommeerde wereld kennis maakt met relatief onbekende mensen of totaal onbekende mensen. En dat het voor mij in ieder geval heel interessant is om te kijken wat is er op dit moment aan de hand in de nieuwste of in de voorhoede van de wereld van de fotografie.
I really like their work because it's something that you don't see here. It's just also not just in Qatar, but worldwide. You know, I look at photography from all over the world, and I try to stay as, you know, up on it as I can. And between magazines and books and online and Instagram and everything else, there's so much all the time. So to find something that really speaks to you and you want to look at every day is pretty unique.
Their imagery is very strong, their visual language is very strong, the colours they use are very eccentric.
They had something that I haven't seen before, aesthetically, the way they present themselves. So that intrigued me and I wanted to find out more. And I was very puzzled, to say the least, at first.
When I saw it for the first time, it's so iconic. I was a bit like, what am I seeing here? It's a bit, I mean, really over the top. If you have a second look and you know what they're actually trying to do. And you get the point. It's really interesting to really dig into their work.
Y yo quería como que crear un contraste entre la ropa, pero que no sea demasiado.
Pero yo
que no sea tanto color, porque te había dicho que el secreto era de la negra. Sí, eran cositas que yo estaba buscando, yo creo. ¿Qué crees de ese sombrero? No creo.
You're smart enough to be in the Qatar military.
Interesting. Something light, I think.
I think something more like that.
I think this one is better.
But it's not exactly, we need to get the exact color.
I came from a family that are not into art, but my mother, she support me. And my father, he was a little bit against to it, but he wanted me to be an architect. He thought it's more, something more useful.
You put red and yellow, right? Yeah.
Andrew was already here in Qatar, and then he suggested me to move here to start working together.
My dad came here for work, basically, and yeah, I just decided to come with him. I think you can consider Christto as my brother, and we speak a lot about things, especially about things that happen on a social level, and this is where like the basis of all our ideas come from. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Very nice. Hello, hello. Good to see you.
Yeah, how's it going?
Hi.
How's your flight?
Oh, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. So beautiful. And are these the sketches?
Yep.
Exciting. Cool. We can see the eye. One of the reasons why we selected Christto and Andrew is because they're based in Qatar. Their work is about Qatari society, but Christto is from Puerto Rico, Andrew's from South Africa. They studied together in Spain, but they're working in Qatar. So yeah, more international than that, I don't think you could probably get.
Actually, all these references are coming from, they're all different.
All different references, yeah.
Yeah. And then did you have one image in mind that you would really want to see as the main?
I think these two, more or less.
I got a call from the director of Unseen, and I couldn't believe it.
I think it hasn't sunk in yet. I mean, sometimes you're so into what you're doing that you don't really understand the magnitude of what you're doing. One of these, the small one, how much is the small one? 1,000. 1,000. The small one. Can we see it?
You can get it.
Eso está roto. Pero mira, se ve muy grande. Porque es la que va a perder la persona. At first we were really puzzled about what we could do. And we decided to come up with a persona that tells different stories. It tells the story of Unseen. It tells the story of what it means to be unseen versus to be seen. Yeah, I think it looks good. We were really intrigued as well to connect this persona to our previous work, which is a question mark of what the future holds. Yeah, so he found like these old images of psychics and people trying to read the future, and they're always in this weird poses. And, and stuff.
Those would be great to also have a look at them. Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, this one, yeah.
This one we can use, huh?
Yeah. I love the fact that all these fingers are touching.
Yeah.
The way she's looking down. But I think it is connected to how they envision the future here as well. Like they're always living in the future.
Yeah.
And I mean, you always see the new futuristic buildings and you don't really get to live in them or whatever, but it's like you always see waiting for the future to come. Yeah, I think we're inspired as well, like just by walking around in the streets, and you find a lot of interesting material which you wouldn't find in where we come from. Lots of these items contain sort of traditional hints to culture, and we try and use that as much as possible in our work. Put it on there or something.
जहाँ तक बुलंदशहर का ताल्लुक है तो यहाँ हमारी गजनवी की आमद तक से और राजा हरी सिंह से जंग हुआ है फिर सारा मुसद
Hello. How are you? Good.
The guy said you're on the first floor for some reason.
Hi, Mira, how are you?
Good.
Nice to see you again. How's it going? Coming in. It's difficult to find models here because people are not really open to being photographed, firstly. And secondly, I think it's a bit difficult to understand our work for someone that's not in the art world. What about makeup? Did you bring some? Or? Yeah?
Could be cool.
It's really cool.
Maybe the dark one.
Yeah.
This one, yeah.
I think the darker one will look better.
Here is a place full of contradictions. I feel like this contradiction between what is beauty, what is ugly, how to portray something that is not the standard beauty in a beautiful way is really, I think, cool.
Do I blink?
It's fine because I'm just testing the light. Okay, Chris.
I think sometimes inspiration comes from a bit of advertising. The commercialization and the superficialness of where we're living, and just in today's world in general, how superficial everything has become is part of our work.
What about only one, this hand on the table?
If you can manage to leave the other, yeah.
It's the world that they choose to give us, the color codes, if we will. It's kind of wild and bizarre, but what I'm trying to say is that Christto and Andrew happen to be also extremely, I don't want to say shy, but really kind of introverted in many ways. They don't shout too loud, just to let their work speak for itself.
We might go back Tuesday.
Okay. In Qatar, social commentary is not really a thing. It's not by any means because the people don't have opinions. It's because certain opinions are either not so favorite, and also because there's a lot of things in place where you can't really speak your mind completely.
Sometimes I'm shocked if I see, like, you know, with the sheep's head and all the jewelry, and they are pushing it sometimes to the limit, I think.
I think many people consider it as being political and maybe sometimes controversial, but I really don't see it as that. I think having an opinion is nothing bad, or maybe trying to make a statement is not necessarily political. I think an important aspect of our work is more like to prompt questions and make people think more than anything else.
They kind of give you hints, whether it's through colors, through artifacts, through jewelry. Because we have lived here in this region, which is very particular, you know, it can be very contrasty in the same way that it's contrasted in their images. If we're talking about extreme wealth, if we want to talk about a cultural integration, and so all these layers are there. So at the end of the day, yes, it is an image, rather than just showing really a photograph as it is, taking an angle that has humor in it, that has irony in it, makes all these different layers interact between each other. The artists are the catalyst, thank God for that sort of thing, because they are the ones who, through their work, who kind of therapeutically, if we will use that word so loosely, give us that sort of analysis of ourselves and of what surrounds us.
How much is the baby?
بيبي صغير سوي؟
ها؟
بيبي صغير سوي؟
صور؟
صغير بيبي
بيبي؟
ايه شو نسوي؟
Picture. شنو يسوي؟ خلاص؟
اوكي؟
الحمد لله. Can't really see it right now. It's very interesting to see how things are changing, and that's what inspires us a lot. I mean, on a social level, things are changing on a level that I've never seen before. So people are having to deal with things that they've never seen or done before, and there's a lot of influx of migrant workers like myself who try and build a life for themselves here. At the same time, that's not really possible because you're not really allowed to integrate into society here. So there's always this feeling of what is home and where is home.
Wait, but you mustn't wait. I'm going to climb up there. Don't show that I'm climbing up there. You see, here is some more places to... I'm just scared that there's something else on top. A very famous fish. We ate the fish after the picture. This is my favorite one. He looks so dedicated there. Digging in this hole. And this was all about the different countries. This was from South Africa. This was from the Philippines. The jacket was from, and the flag was from America. This was from Qatar. See, this is, all of us are getting together here in Qatar. And which is a good thing, and we can learn from each other and we can grow through each other.
These are the graffitis that Justin was talking about, no?
Yeah.
For a young artist, this place is sort of unlimited potential. It affords artists more opportunities than, say, New York or London or Berlin or somewhere where everywhere you turn it's, you know, centuries old, the most beautiful things you've ever seen, but everybody's seen them. Here it's brand new, so I think it's like, still, it's in its infancy, but it's such an exciting growing period.
There is nothing.
So Christto and Andrew are a great example of this new generation of artists. They're working with and in Qatar.
What's that?
With some of the materials that people overlook. with some of the places that people overlook and the faces that may not necessarily be the most desirable of faces for most artists.
Here they are trying to build a national identity. They are thinking in an old way. You cannot have a portrait that defines a society anymore, because in the future that will not be the image of them anymore. So you just need to be liquid. You just need to let it happen. You cannot control everything. The world is not like it was before. You cannot define yourself anymore. You cannot be one thing. You could be a lot of things at the same time. So being liquid is the possibility of being everything.